So Frieza is finally back, and he has a new form that he himself calls Black Frieza. I know, we're just gonna have to roll with it. And while he doesn't really aesthetically change too much, aside from just seemingly parts of him turning black, his power increase is monumental. Like, ostensibly, he's probably the strongest being in Universe 7 outside of Beerus and Whis. He may even be rivaling Beerus at this point, to be honest. But let me get into why he's shown up and how he achieved this transformation. So in this chapter, we see that, surprise, surprise, Gas wasn't defeated in the last chapter, and he gets up, and despite him being on the verge of death, he's still getting stronger and can still challenge Goku and Vegeta at the same time. And then suddenly Frieza just shows up out of nowhere. And this is because we knew that Elect more or less was like calling Frieza to come meet him at the planet. Elect has wanted to like get Frieza out of the picture so that he can just be like the universe's mafia boss or whatever. And since he made the wish to make Gas the strongest in the universe, he assumed that he would just be able to kill Frieza using gas. Frieza, however, with his over 9,000 IQ and 4D chess abilities, already knew that this was the case, not only just now, but he pretty much knew Elect's intentions for like the last 40 years. So he definitely came here prepared. Hey, also guys, if you like my Dragon Ball content, please subscribe if you haven't already. It's fine if you don't want to, but if you just need a reminder, here you go. And we see Gas go after Frieza, and this is the first moment where we see Frieza go into his black form, and he just one-shots Gas, like hand right through the stomach, and then Gas like melts like some kind of zombie or something. And this is incredible because it was hammered home that Gas was the strongest in the universe at this point. Of course, because of the wish that Elect had made with the Cerulean Dragon Balls that reduced his lifespan to seemingly just hours at this point, if not minutes, in order to give him that much power. And then Frieza starts talking to Elect, and he goes over the stuff that we had just talked about with him already knowing what was going on. And he also says that he knows that Elect is like the weakest of the heaters, which is pretty much true at this point. And for some reason, Elect gets so angry that like he decides to punch Frieza, which is kind of out of character, but whatever. Frieza just instantly kills him. So just like that, these two characters that we've been following this entire arc are just gone because Frieza showed up at the last second and took them both out. Then Frieza realizes that like Goku and Vegeta are there, and Goku's like, how'd you manage to kill Gas? And Vegeta's like, Gas had become the strongest warrior in the universe. By all rights, he should have been far stronger than you. And that's very true, because the last time we saw Frieza, he was nowhere near the strongest in the universe level that we've come to know throughout this arc. And Frieza's like, in this universe, you mean? Ah, of course. I've been spending some time in another dimension, you see. So perhaps I wasn't being counted as part of this universe. And then Goku's like, what other dimension? And Frieza says, on one of my many conquered worlds, I happened to come across a chamber where time flows differently than in the outside world, which of course means that there's another room of spirit and time that exists somewhere. And Frieza says there I was able to squeeze in 10 years worth of training. I couldn't very well keep losing to Saiyans my whole life, so I needed a bit of a power up. Meet Black Frieza. So yeah, that's the explanation. So this whole time, the Room of Spirit and Time wasn't exclusive to Earth, and that's understandable, I guess. The universe is a big place, and Frieza was just fortunate enough to find this place and just made the most use of it. So we already knew that Frieza had this propensity to become extraordinarily powerful if he were to just train, because we found out that he was able to achieve the Golden Frieza form after only training for like 4 months, and that made him so strong that he was able to fight against Super Saiyan Blue. And since then, we've always wondered, like, okay, so why doesn't Frieza just train longer than 4 months? If he became that strong in that short amount of time, if he trained for like, let's say, a year or more, he would probably become Ultra Instinct level, if not even surpass that. Well, we're getting the answer here. Not only did he train for more than a year, but he trained for 10 years. And if the Room of Spirit and Time is the same that it was on Earth, then it wound up being only like the equivalent of 10 days in real time. And in those 10 years, he achieved the Black Form, which we saw was so strong that it could one-shot Gas, who was, you know, on the verge of death, of course, but was still strong enough to fight against Goku and Vegeta at the same time. And also keep in mind that they were both healed by Minato in the beginning of this chapter, so they weren't like weakened or anything. And Black Frieza isn't just strong enough to one-shot Gas, but strong enough to also one-shot Goku and Vegeta at the same time, because that's immediately what he does after revealing his form here. Like, one punches them both at the same time, knocking them out of their top forms back to base form. And while we're talking about their top about forms, I want to make a correction for my last video, and in the chapter it wasn't explicitly made clear what that form was. It was simply just noted as him having black hair still while in Ultra Instinct, and him being able to use his emotions while in that form. And since we had just limited knowledge, we just assumed that, oh, I guess he's in like a better version of Omen or Sign, but it turns out that no, this is like a new form, and for some reason the information about it was released on the Dragon Ball website after the fact, but it said regarding to the new form that when Gas was about to finish Vegeta off, Goku rescued him, and then he manifested Ultra Instinct in his black-haired state. Applying his emotions with Ultra Instinct, Goku had finally awoken the true Ultra Instinct. This power overwhelmed Gas, the greatest warrior in the universe, by knocking him to the ground with one mighty blow. So yeah, it's true Ultra Instinct, and it's just Ultra Instinct where Goku can use his emotions, and as he said, that better suits him because he's able to fight more freely while using his emotions, rather than not, which is what we typically saw with Ultra Instinct, or at least the Master version. But yeah, Black Frieza is just so powerful that he's one-shotting true Ultra Instinct Goku to base form, along with Ultra Ego Vegeta back to his base form. So like I said in the beginning, Black Frieza is easily the strongest being in Universe 7 right now, aside from Beerus and Whis, and as I also said, at this point, maybe even rivaling Beerus, if not even surpassing. I feel like they keep moving the goalpost with Beerus's power, because in the anime at least, it very much was implied that Master Ultra Instinct was rivaling, if not even surpassing him, but in the manga, it's kind of like a different story. At the beginning of this arc, it kind of felt like they almost retconned Beerus's power to make him much more powerful than what they originally intended him to be, and that's fine, because I at least hope that he will be one of the final opponents for Goku to face. That would be a great way to like bookend the series, you know? But considering the ease that Frieza had with taking out the 3 strongest characters that we've come to know at this point, he has to be up there with Beerus. But after defeating them, Frieza says, while you two were having fun on this puny planet, I managed to surpass you, but I came here in pursuit of a different target, so I'll let you off easy today. And then he just leaves, but he also takes Maki and Oil with him. But yeah, I think this is amazing, and we were actually talking about this in my previous video. We actually talked about this for like the last year, to be honest. I assumed that this was going to happen with Frieza. He was going to come in at the very end of the arc, and I thought that he was going to get this kind of power from maybe utilizing the Cerulean Dragon Balls, if anything. But no, he kind of just did his own training. But I did think that it would end this way. Do something to establish that he's like the strongest in the universe, more or less, and then he would just dip out of there so that he's kind of just a lingering threat that exists. You know, keeping the story more interesting, which it is right now, because I'm definitely more intrigued. Even though the ending here kind of took away the stakes from the entire arc, because everything just amounted to nothing. Because Frieza just came in at the end and just did everything that they were supposed to do in like a couple panels. Like Gas was built up so much, and then he just jobs to Frieza instantly, along with Goku and Vegeta at the peak of their power. But I don't really care. I really like Frieza. He's one of my favorite characters, so I'm totally on board with him being like a top tier threat once again. But let me know what you think about Black Frieza in the comments. How strong do you think he is in relation to Beerus? And what do you think the next arc's going to be? Let me know. And if you liked the video, please give it a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.